Story 16X.
The Kidnapped Fairy.
Words we know.
Together. There. Do. You. There. Her. Then. Than. Them. Your. Money. Does. Shall. She. No. Put. Brother. They. Cooking. Come. Says.
Old sound.
U, as in cook.
Special words.
Evening. Fairy. Kidnapped.
Some longer words.
Stolen. Prisoner. Perhaps. Together. Look through the story. Find and say each special word. Find and say each longer word. Now you are ready to read the story. The Kidnapped Fairy. In the evening, I cook my dinner and then go for a stroll on a track by a little river. On the track, there are lots of animals: rabbits, wombats, possums and a duck. There is a little fairy too. The fairy looks very sad. She tells me an evil goblin has kidnapped her sister. "Can you help me?" she says. "My sister is a prisoner in the goblin's hut, and I cannot get in to help her." I want to help the fairy, and I tell her I will do what I can. "Do you have a plan?" the fairy says to me. "Let me look at the goblin's hut," I tell her. "Perhaps I can come up with a plan to help your sister." We go together to the top of a hill. Then we go into a small forest with lots of tall trees. Next to the biggest tree is a little hut with wooden walls. "She is in there," the fairy says. At the back of the hut, I spot a goblin who looks very pleased with himself. He has a silver ring in his hand and a golden cup on his lap. "That is my sister's stuff," the fairy says to me. "He has stolen them. We must get them back." I nod and I tell the fairy I have a good plan. I pick up a little rock and toss it into the trees away from the goblin's hut. The rock hits a tree trunk with a dink. Then I toss a second rock and it hits a log with a donk. The goblin looks up. "Who's there?" he says. He stands up and drops the ring and the cup. The goblin runs into the forest. The fairy and I run to the hut. The fairy's sister is in a little bamboo room by the back wall. The bamboo room has a wooden lock on it. I find a big rock. I hit the lock and it falls off. "Quick, come with us," I tell the fairy's sister. "Let's get away from here." As we go, I pick up the ring and the cup, and we all run back to the track by the little river. The goblin is still in the forest and cannot find us. The sisters are very glad to be together. The end.
Words we've used.
Evening. Prisoner. Bamboo. Stroll. Perhaps. Wooden. Fairy. Together. Pleased. Kidnapped. Stolen. Possums.
Some new words.
Hottest. Smallest. Folded. Coldest. Wanted. Landed.